for joining me today. This is Brett Owens from Chrometa, our CEO and co-founder. I'm going to take you through a 10-minute demo here, so I'll move pretty quickly, cover a lot of ground in 10 minutes. Happy to take your questions afterwards. So if you do want to stick around past that 10-minute period, I'm happy to hang out, answer any questions that you have. So please, anything on your mind, go ahead and type it into that GoToWebinar window. If there's anything you would like to see demoed again in more detail, something I didn't cover, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get rolling here. And what we're going to do is walk through some of my time captured from yesterday. We'll go through that. We'll reconcile it. I'll show you some tips and tricks on how to categorize that as efficiently as possible. So, as mentioned, this is my time for Wednesday, July 20th here. So this is from yesterday. Have Chrometa running for the entire day there. And then what it is essentially doing is capturing the time that I spend in each application. I was working on my Mac, which is what you're looking at now. So I had my Mac time tracker running, so that's what's doing the pickup here. And it is splitting it up by application, and then what am I doing within that application? So for example, I was writing some documents yesterday, some pieces. So these are the various Word documents I was in. Over on the right-hand side, I can see how long I spent in each one. So 38 minutes for that first document, 20 minutes for the second, so on and so forth. So we've got this split by, again, by app, and then what I was doing within that app. So for Gmail and emails, of course, a lot of email time, as many of you probably have as well. We do some special tracking for emails, where we will also capture the to and the from in addition to the subject line. So this is for folks who are using Microsoft Outlook, Gmail, or Mac now. That's where we have advanced email support for you as well. So even as you're flipping back and forth, we'll capture the total time spent on these emails. And then I also have an Android app running on my mobile phone. So it's grabbing the phone calls that I've got here, the text messages that are sent, matching it up with my Google Contacts. So that's kind of the basically a two-device day for me yesterday. So let's go ahead and start assigning this time down to projects on my timesheet. So first, you'll see that the screen is split up between my unbilled time and my timesheet here. So I've got some items that were already grouped to my timesheet using our keyword-based rules. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit, show you how to set those up and such. But let's go into my unbilled time, and what we'll do is we'll just bucket a few items here that were captured yesterday. So what I'll do is I'll start with this Word document, the one that I spent 38 minutes on here. What I'm going to do is move it down to a project. So I'm going to do a little active search here to pull up the client and project name. And let's say I want to bucket it down to this project here. So what I can now do is I can either just click this to move this time entry down to this project, or I can use one of these two mouse over shortcuts to kind of do two things at once. So let me take advantage of the first one here, was our little pen. What this is going to let me do is categorize and annotate this entry at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, not only do I want to categorize it this project, but I also want to create an annotation. Annotation is basically plain English of what I was doing. So Chrometa's capturing kind of the computer speak, what the title of the document was. For email, it's capturing that info. But for purposes of our timesheet, we probably want to put an English sentence or phrase in there in terms of the entry. So what I can say is that I was preparing another document for Kevin. I will save that. And what we're doing then is we're moving it from our unbilled time down to our timesheet. So you can see that that 38-minute entry was rounded up to 42. How did it get there? Got there from our rounding setting. So I've got a 6-minute rounding setting applied there. So rounded that up, applied my rate, and I still have the original computer time underneath, but it is now assigned to this client and project. So I can continue to go through, as I showed you there, or I can start to make some shortcuts. So for example, I've got a few, as you can see, I've got a few documents that are similar here. So as you can guess, these were all to the same the same activity. So let's say I want to group all of these and I want to create a rule that's going to capture all these going forward. So what I can do is say that I want to move that to this client, this project, but instead of hitting that first annotation, what I'm going to do is hit the second one, which is to categorize and create a rule at the same time. Okay, so what this is going to do is pre-populate our keyword, and this basically works like Google. So when we see a keyword or a keyword phrase, what we're doing is we're telling Chrometa that anytime you see this, I want you to move it to this client, this project. I can also apply it to the past, and in doing this, I'm telling the system, and I also want you to look for other instances of this, and then just sweep them into that project on my timesheet. So I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to say I want to categorize and create the rule. And what the system is now doing is sweeping all of these entries in the background into that bucket for me. Other ways that we can create rules, so while we're on the subject, over on the left-hand navigation here, you can get to the rules interface, and then you can also create a new rule from scratch. So again, you can do a certain keyword. You can do an email address, so if you wanted to say anytime you are emailing with me, you want it to go to a certain project, or you could say anytime you are emailing with somebody from Chrometa, it's going to go to this particular project as well. So that's another way that you can, for example, categorize all of your email correspondence automatically to a certain project there as well. Okay, I showed you, so that's today. Actually, let me get back to yesterday. This is our summary view. We do have a timeline view that has literally a play-by-play down to the minute, but there are some ways that you can group all of that time pretty easily as well. So I'm going to jump over there now. That is going to be under our timeline. And what this is basically, as I said, a minute-by-minute play-by-play of everything that I did throughout the day. So there's a lot here, but I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can kind of get your arms around all this at once. So one way to do it is I can hold down, I can left click to categorize, select an entry here, and then I can hold down the shift key while I'm also left clicking and selecting a bunch of entries in between. What this is essentially doing is highlighting everything in between. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because all this was really the same activity, even though I was jumping around. So what I can then do is I can go to move to project, and I can say I want to move it all to the same project and give it the same annotation, and then I can say that this was all the same thing. And what the system will then do for me when I go back to my timesheet on the summary view, as you can see, it grouped everything into this entry here. So I still have all those originals but what I did is I swept them under this umbrella. I give them the same annotation, and then I also rounded up the settings. So that's a nice way to combine a couple of entries. Another way to do it is we also have a new slider here at the top of the screen, and what this will do is select a certain number of entries, and then you can group them as well. So you can hit the group button, and that will kind of move them all into one continuous entry as well. Okay, couple minutes to go here. So in my remaining minute or two, let me show you what we can do with this time. So now as we move everything down to our timesheet, we can now send it out to an external billing system if we would like. So we do integrate with about a little over 10 practice management and accounting project management systems. So you can send these out, these time entries out to these systems. The advantage is that they're going to be created in those systems as if the entries were created directly there. So for example, if I'm sending these time entries out to Clio, they're going to show up in Clio. They're going to look like time entries as if you created them in Clio. Give you a full look at our integration flow. These are the current systems that we integrate with. We've got about 2 or 3 more that will be coming up quite soon. So how we're connecting with these systems is we are connecting up once. So we're hooking up with that system, and what we're doing from there is we're pulling the client and matter list in from that system into Chrometa. So we're doing that with our sync buttons. We're syncing with Clio or Time Matters, for example. That's going to pull the projects in, and the benefit of that is that when we are in our summary or timeline views, I've got those projects available here. So that's how I'm able to assign time entries to those and then kick those back across the wire. Okay, so we're at 9:10, so 10 minutes in. So I'll close by showing you how to add additional devices or get started on the free trial if you have not already. That's going to be from our free trial page right here. So this is where you can add an additional device in terms of time tracking to your account. So if you want to get some a PC tracking going, or an additional PC or additional Mac, or get our mobile apps going, this is going to be the page for you. Okay, happy to take questions, so let me take a look, see if we have any in here. Okay, so first question, how do we get AT&T phone and Android phone time logged onto Chrometa? So if you are running an Android phone on AT&T, then all you need to do is get the Android app right here. So let me actually send this out to you. So just install our Android app, and you will be good to go. You'll then be able to connect that with your account and set that up. Specifically, our Android app is located on the Google Play Store. Might be able to get you a direct link. Of course, you'll want to do this from your phone, but you'll basically go to the Google Play Store. And then the app requires a one-click sync. So you have to say sync with Chrometa, but it can sync your time up to about a month. So you will have to get in the app from time to time and hit the sync button, but you'll be able to get that going. And then talked about how do we get time from Chrometa Clio. So I think I showed that. I had not checked the questions before. I will show you, we did a webinar with Clio. We do them every so often. And I have one for you in our support forum that may be worth a watch as well. So this will take you through the entire flow with Clio also. And then if anyone has follow-up questions for additional support, let me show you our support info. We do have live support available starting on Sunday going through Friday. So that's 6 days a week via phone, email, and live chat. And then here's our info on that as well. So if we can help, please let us know. And also, I should add, anyone who wants additional training, we do offer complimentary one-on-one training sessions. Let me give you that link as well before I go. This is our trainer, Lori. She's excellent. And if you would like to set up a follow-up, I'm going to go into a lot more detail than I did with you here. So if you're interested in taking advantage of that, this will be the link. I'll put that in the chat window right now. So you can just use the schedule, sign up for a time that works for you, and then you'll be able to do a web meeting with Lori. She'll walk you through, and that'll be more custom to your setup as well. Okay, so again, I'll leave you with our contact info if you have any questions. Otherwise, I thank you for joining. Hope it was helpful and hope to hear from you soon.